If I give you a problem like this, would you be able to solve it? Well, in this video, we're going over letter sums. Let's do it. Alright, let's begin. If A equals 1, B equals 2, C equals 3, and this pattern keeps continuing to Y equals 25 and Z equals 26, what is the sum of the letters of the word multiply? Alright, so this type of problem is called a letter sum problem, which means basically every single letter is given a value according to its position. So A is the first letter in the alphabet, so it's given the value of 1. B is the second letter of the alphabet, so it's given 2. And this continues until Z, which is given 26, because it's the last letter, which is the 26th letter. So how do we do this efficiently, right? Because obviously we could go through this alphabet slowly for each letter. Like M is this, then U is this, and then find it out, right? But how do we do this faster? There's actually a trick, and it's by remembering this one thing. Elephants jump over the yard. Okay? So elephants, E, jump, J, over, O, the, T, and Y for yard. Alright, so that gives us E, J, O, T, Y. These letters represent the fives of the alphabet, which is 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. If you remember this, you can easily solve this problem. So let's start. We have the word multiply. Alright, so if we have multiply, we can see that M, right? M is 2 letters before O because the alphabet goes L, M, N, O, P. And this is 2 letters before. If we know O is 15, that means M is 15 minus 2, which is 13. So M is 13. Now let's go to U. Alright? So we know that U is 1 after T, right? Because the alphabet goes Q, R, S, T, U, right? And we know that this is 1 after, and that T is 20. So logically, that means it's 20 plus 1, which is 21. Then for L, right? We know that L is 2 after J, because the alphabet goes H, I, J, K, L, right? And that's 2 after L. So we would just add 2 to the 10, which is 12. Next, T. We already know that T is 20, so we don't have to do any extra work. Next, I. So we know that I is the letter before J, which means I is just 9. Then P. Well, we know that P is the letter after O. If O is 15, the letter after that has to be 16, so P is 16. Next, L. We already know from earlier, right here, that L is 12. And finally, Y. We can see right here that Y is 25. So now we add these up. So when we do 13 plus 21 plus 12 plus 20 plus 9 plus 16 plus 12 plus 25, we get 128. And that's your answer. Next. If A equals 1, B equals 2, C equals 3, and the pattern continues until Y equals 25 and Z equals 26, what is the sum of the letters of the word fun? Alright, this is a really simple problem. As we know from the last problem, we can remember the acronym elephants jump over the yard, which is E, J, O, T, Y. These represent the 5th, 10th, 15th, and 20th, and 25th word in the alphabet. And in this problem, each letter in the alphabet is given a value according to its position. So A is given 1 because it's the first letter. Y is given 25 because it's the 25th letter. And Z is given 26 because, you guessed it, Z is the 26th letter. Right? So we see this pattern. So this is the way we solve it. We use this EJOTY, or elephants jump over the yard. Alright, so now let's use this in this problem. We have F-U-N, which is fun. So we have to find the value of each of these letters. Let's start with F. F, right? That is the letter after E. We know that E is the 5th letter in the alphabet, which means F is just E plus 1, which means F is 6. Next, U. We know that U is just the letter after T. T is just the 20th letter in the alphabet, so T plus 1, which is 20 plus 1, which is 21. Finally, N. N is the letter before O. So we know that O is 15, so 1 before 15 is 14. So N is 14. And now all we have to do is add these letters up. So that's 6 plus 14 plus 21. That is 41, and that's your answer. Next, if A equals 1, B equals 2, C equals 3, and the pattern continues until Z equals 26, what is the sum of the letters of the word quadratic? Alright, so for this problem, as we saw earlier, right, we just have to remember elephants jump over the yard. That's E for elephant, J for jump, O for over, T for the, and Y for yard, right? So these represent the 5th, 10th, 15th, 20th, and 25th letters in the alphabet, respectively, right? And in this problem, each letter is given a value according to its position in the alphabet. So A equals 1. Now this helps us solve the problem by simplifying the process of counting the position of the letter. So let's do this word, quadratic. Alright, so with this word, we can see that Q, right? We'll start off with Q. Q is nothing but 2 letters after O. If O is the 15th letter, that means Q is the 17th letter. Next, U. U is the letter after T, which means if T is the 20th letter, U is the 21st letter. Next, A. We know A is the first letter because, well, it's the first letter of the alphabet, so that's 1. Next, D. D is the letter before E. We know that E is the 5th letter, so the letter before that would be 4. 5 minus 1. Next, R. We know that R is 2 letters before T. So if T is the 20th letter, that means R is 20 minus 2, which is 18. Next, we know A again, that's just 1. And we know T already is 20 from our EJOTY. Next, I. So I is the letter right before J. So if J is 10, then I is 9, which is 10 minus 1. And finally, C. C is 2 letters before E, which means if E is 5, C is 3. Now that we know this, we can simply add these up, right? So that's 17 plus 21 plus 1 plus 4 plus 18 plus 1 plus 20 plus 9 plus 3. So when we add this, that's 20, 41, 42, 46, 64, 65, 85, 94. And that's your answer. Next, if A equals 1, B equals 2, C equals 3, and the pattern continues until Z equals 26, what is the sum of the letters of the word quotient? So as we saw before, for this type of problem, each letter in the alphabet is given a value according to its position. So that's why A is 1, because it's the first letter, and that's why Z is 26, because it's the last letter, or the 26th letter. So to solve this problem, we can simplify it. Instead of counting through the alphabet each time to find a letter's position, we can remember elephants jump over the yard. These letters, EJOTY, are the 5th, 10th, 15th, 20th, and 25th letter in the alphabet, respectively. Right? And so using this, we can solve the problem. So we have our word, quotient. Alright? And so what we want to do is, we want to find out how far away from one of these letters, like E, J, O, T, or Y, is Q, or U, or the letter we're trying to find. So let's start off with Q. Q. Q is 2 letters after O. So that means Q is O plus 2, which is 15 plus 2. So that's 17. Next, U. U is the letter after T, which means U is 20 plus 1, which is 21. Next, O. We already know what O is. That's 15. Same thing with T. We already know that's 20. Next, I. I is the letter before J. So if J is 10, I is 9. Next, E. We already know that's 5. Next, N. N is just the letter before O. So if O is 15, N is 14. And finally, t again. We know that's 20. So now all we have to do is add these up. So that's 21 plus 9, which is 30. 30 plus 20, which is 50. 50 plus 20, which is 70. 70 plus 5, which is 75. 75 plus 14, which is 89. And then 89 plus 15, which is 104. And then 104 plus 17, which is 121. And that's your answer. That's it. Thanks for watching. If you found this video helpful, please consider subscribing. I take a lot of effort to make these videos, and I'd really appreciate it.